We live in strange times, there's no doubt about it, folks. These days we have amazing abilities we have discovered thanks to our understanding of genetics, and we are able to play God-altering DNA and genes, so that we can create new and crazy animals to suit whatever we might want them, for the possibilities are almost endless, and one of the most interesting things we can do is create hybrid animals, like a turkey with a lion's head or something. Okay, we haven't managed one of those yet, but we have got some super interesting ones in this video, from the unique bird to the incredible polish cattle. Here's 15 hybrid animals created by scientists.
Number 15. Rakuhan.
Thorical is a truly amazing bird that you would be extremely lucky to ever see. In the wild, it is a mixture of the western capercaillie and the black. The western capercaillie is a common bird throughout Europe and is known to be the largest of all grouse species, as well as being remarkable for the huge size of the males, which have amazing black, green, and brown plumage and are twice the size of the females. The black grouse is another cool-looking game bird, not quite as large but still pretty big. When scientists mixed these two birds, they ended up with the rakelhaan, which is a massive and awesome-looking bird. The only problem is that it has the personality of Ed Kemper. Like, this bird is a psychopath and insanely aggressive to anything, including people, but worse than that, there are videos of this bird going on killing sprees, attacking and beheading a male black grouse, which might have been its death, and then, shall we say, having its way with the corpse. Like this video, smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Time for the rare topic. Here's a fact. You might not know zebras and rhinos are actually not so distantly related. They might look very different, but they share a fairly recent genetic ancestor, and this opens the possibility that they could one day be made into a hybrid, which is what this image shows. And there are some mad scientists out there who are claiming that this is an animal which has escaped from their secret hybrid lab, and they want it back. Other people think it might just be the work of a genius, a Photoshop. Is this a real animal spotted on safari, or do you think
Number 14. Zubron.
Here's a bovine hybrid. You might not have heard of the zubron. It's a mixture of a domestic cow and a European bison, which is also known as a wisen. This animal was first bred in Poland and was named back in the 1960s. They are very heavy animals, which can weigh as much as 600 pounds and are considered to be the relatives of the American beefalo. That's right, I said beefalo, not buffalo. The zubron is a sought-after cattle because they are highly resistant to diseases and can tolerate harsh weather conditions with ease. It was first bred as an experiment back in 1847 by Leopold Walicki of Poland. Scientists believed for a long time that the zubron could completely replace the domestic cattle worldwide. Imagine heading out for a zubron burger or getting into some tasty zubron jerky. The Polish Academy of Scientists continued its experiments with the zubron throughout the 20th century, but the zubron didn't really catch on in the way they had hoped. But
Number 13.
Geep. Geep, that's a goat and a sheep, in case you couldn't figure that one out. These two animals have been living together for longer than recorded history, and yet interbreeding between them is very rare. They are in a different genus, but are from the same family. Caprinae goats and sheep are a little too different to one another to produce any healthy offspring. So most geeps are stillborn, but there are records of some keep which have survived and even grown up back in 2000. A baby keep was born healthy and grew up with legs like a goat and the body of a sheep. It also had a woolly inner coat like a sheep and a coarse outer one like a goat. It was also known to have an overactive libido, going after any female goat or sheep it could find at my petting zoo in Scottsdale, Arizona. A baby geep named Butterfly was born in 2014.
Number 12. Penny.
What do you get if you cross a male horse and a female donkey? The answer is a henny. The smart ones of you watching might be saying, hey, wait a minute, isn't that just a plain old mule? The answer is no, because a mule is a male donkey bred with a female horse and is a much more common hybrid. Also, the genetic imprint means that mules and hinds are very different to each other. Hennes are smaller and have more donkey-like temperaments, generally more relaxed and slow-moving, but also pretty stubborn. But mules are more courageous, energetic, and agile like a horse. In fact, they both have important jobs in different circumstances. A henny is ideal as a pack mount, while a mule is perfect for riding out on the trail. Hennes are notorious for their stubbornness, but both mules and hennies can be pretty stubborn. So
Number 11. Wolfin.
now we have the wolfin, which sounds pretty weird, that's for sure. It is the offspring of a bottlenose dolphin and a false killer whale, and while fins are actually something which occurs in nature, although very rarely, false killer whales are about halfway between a dolphin and a killer whale in size, with a skull and teeth much more similar to the killer whale. They can grow to 20 feet long and will hang out with all kinds of different species, and the males like to hit on pretty much any female they can find, no matter what species. So that's how this sometimes happens in the wild. Wolfin can reach 12 to 22 feet in length and around 600 pounds of weight, and while bottlenose dolphin has 88 teeth, false killer whale 44 teeth, the wolfin has 66 teeth, which is an average of the two parents in captivity. The first wolfin known of is Kikaimalu, who was born in 1985. They tend to inherit more characteristics from the dolphin side, but will still be much larger aside.
Number 10. Roller bear.
If we go back just a few short years, there was a huge space between the habitats of grizzly bears and polar bears. They each had their own patch and were pretty unlikely to ever meet, but now, as the polarized caps melt, polar bears have begun moving south, and they have begun to cross over for the first time. What does this mean? Maybe a lot of fights, but a little love and the birth of some growler bears. The internet has been trying to figure out who would win in a fight between a polar bear and a grizzly in a fight, but the answer is that everyone wins when they decide to snuggle instead. Some people also like calling them pizzly bears, which is pretty hilarious. The first ever growler was observed in 2006, and while only 3 more cases have been officially recorded, scientists believe they can make more of these hybrids and add a new.
Number 9. Beefalo.
Yep, we mentioned it earlier, and now it's time to take a look at the mighty beefalo. This has to be the champion of the most awesome name for a hybrid animal competition. Who wouldn't want me to beefalo? It's a hybrid of an American buffalo and a domestic cow. This mix was first created by accident back in the 18th century, but it soon dawned on people that the beefalo's super hardy nature added to regular cattle would make the beefalo a very useful species for farming, especially as buffalo are less hungry than domestic cattle. Oh, to goodness. The meat is even considered to be better. So this species is set to increase in numbers as more people wake up to the benefits of the beefalo. They can weigh as much as 2,000 pounds and usually have fine and dark-colored hair, while they are known to be docile and very tolerant to diseases. Unlike domestic animals, the Ideal mix is actually about 2/3 cattle and 1/3 buffalo, so it takes.
Number 8. Koi wolf.
The coy wolf is a mixture of the coyote and the wolf. Personally, I would have called it the royalty or the Gulf, but what do I know? The first coy wolf appeared in southern Ontario and the beginning of the 20th century, but it was not described until 1969 as people initially just thought it was a big coyote. Now they live in northeastern parts of the USA and southeastern parts of Canada. They can grow to 5 feet in length and weigh as much as 45 pounds. The coat is thick like a wolf and the colors can come from other parents, but the size of the skull and jaws definitely comes from the wolf side, as they are large and powerful, much more than a regular coyote. As you might imagine, the coy wolf is a carnivore and it likes to eat the same stuff as coyotes and wolves, such as voles, mice, rabbits, woodchucks, whitetail deer, geese, ducklings, and carrion. It will also sometimes eat berries and nuts. Has a little dessert after your heavy lunch of ducklings and carrion. They also hunt.
Number 7. Liger.
What happens when you put a male lion and a female tiger in a cage together? Well, in all likelihood, they will immediately try and kill each other, with the smart money on the tigress to do the most damage. But what if you raised them together from cubs, so they knew each other and even liked each other a little bit? Well, then things might be a little more amorous and you could end up with a lion-tiger hybrid called a liger. The liger only exists in captivity today, since the habitats of these big cats do not overlap in the wild anymore. Ligers are amazing because they are absolutely huge, way bigger than regular lions and tigers. In fact, they are the largest cats in the entire world. The biggest healthy liger was named Hercules, and back in 2013 he weighed an enormous 922 pounds. That's a lot of cat. Ligers are extremely rare as they only live in zoos, and it's estimated that there are fewer than 100 of them in the world. Around 30 of those are in the U.S., while China has another 20. Number 6.
Kama.
The camera is a camel crossed with a llama. To be more specific, it's a male drum dairy camel. That's the kind with one hump, and a female llama. The first camera ever born was in 1998. The idea was to create animals capable of higher wool production than the llama, with the size and strength of a camel and more chilled temperament. Of course, llamas and camels don't live anywhere and hear each other, and in fact they have been separated as a species for more than 30 million years, so it's considered something of a miracle that you can simply breed them together and produce healthy with no problems. However, there are some challenges, not least that male dromedaries are about 6 times the size of female llamas. That's going to be a little uncomfortable for his llama, so the whole process has to take place via artificial insemination. Too bad for Mr. Camel. I guess the camera can weigh as much as 1,000 pounds and stand 55 inches tall at the shoulder. They don't.
Number 5. Zonki.
A Zanki is the hybrid offspring of a zebra stallion and a donkey jenny. These animals have been bred since the 19th century, and even Charles Darwin made note of them in his works. However, Zakis are extremely rare, even though the zebra and donkey are actually very close relatives. There may be some of you out there who have visited Mexico and are about to write something furious in the comments about how they were everywhere on your 2-week vacay in Tijuana, but I'm gonna let you in on a little Mexican secret. They paint the stripes on the donkeys to make them look that way, not a real zonky, guys. However, in South Africa, they do sometimes occur, as there are.
Number 4. Savannah cat.
The Savannah cat is a pretty special cat with a unique set of traits acquired from its hybridization. These are achieved by crossing a wild African circle with a domestic Siamese cat, and this mix has created the appearance of a True wild cat with the temperament of a domestic cat, although I've met some old ladies with cats that are totally the other way around. In any case, the first ever Savannah cat kitten was named Savannah, and she ended up giving her name to the entire breed, and soon enough, the Savannah cat was officially recognized by the International Cat Association, which happened in 2001. They are of a striking appearance, said to be both majestic and dignified. They can look a little like a cheetah and have long legs with spotted markings on a gold coat, which makes them instantly recognizable. They also have huge ears, which should scare off any other animals.
Number 3. Zhao.
A zoa is a mixture of a cow and yak. Why is it called the zoa? Well, have you thought about trying to market something called a yao or a cac? This bovid is rare, but it often is used as a farm animal in Tibet and Mongolia. They are known to be a strong animal that produces a lot of milk and meat, but the upside is that they don't eat any more than a regular yak or cow, so they are high in efficiency for farming nowadays. There are other Asian countries who are beginning to adopt this Tibetan and Mongolian specialty. They can weigh around 300 pounds and stand 5.5 feet tall, and they have the long and shaggy coat which is typical of a yak, but they have a face like a cow as well as horns. The males are sterile, but the females can be bred with male cattle or yaks to make another generation that's a little more cow-like or a little more yaki. They are super strong and often used to haul loads of up to 300 pounds for people hoping to climb Mount Everest, as well as being more.
Number 2. Tigon.
We hand the liger. Now it's time for the tigon. This is the offspring of a male tiger and a female lion. This is a cross which could have occurred in nature at least once upon a time when lions and tigers lived in the same parts of Asia. These cats are from the same genus. There is no problem with them reproducing. However, being of a different species, it will mean that the baby tigon might not be able to reproduce itself so easily. This means tigons are very rare and only live in captivity. They have both spots from the mother. Lions have the genes for spots, and sometimes they are faintly visible on some lions, and stripes from the father. The mane is sometimes visible, but it will be shorter and less noticeable than a lion's mane, and is usually more like the ruff of a male tiger. Some people think that tigons are much smaller than their parents, but this is not true. They are not as big as ligers, but they can grow.
Number 1. Buckfast bee.
The buckfast bee sounds a little like something Scottish people love to drink, but in fact it is a kind of hybrid bee, which was made by the Buckfast Abbey in Devon, England. It was created by brother Adam born Karl Kurl in 1898 in Germany. In 1919, when he was in charge of beekeeping of the abbey, he was very interested in mixing many different strains of bees to create new kinds of bees, which is a little weird since Christian monks back then usually didn't believe in evolution, which is exactly what hybridization is, with a helping hand from us humans. Anyway, back in the early 20th century, bee populations were being decimated by tracheal mites, which were an Icarian parasitic mite that invaded the bees' tracheal tubes and shortened their lives, and it was especially problematic in the British Isles. Brother Adam understood the bees needed to evolve to survive, so he imported some Italian bees and began breeding them until a new bee was developed which was not susceptible to the mites, and that's what is today known as the buckfast bee. Which two animals would you like to hybridize? Which would you like to see a human-animal hybrid one day? Let us know in the comments below. Also check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.